First of all, I'll just start with design education. Like you mentioned, a lot of people are now getting into design because it has come out as an alternative career. Uh, Now, it's true that till very recently in India, at least for last 20 years, everyone was doing engineering and MBA or was getting into medical. Now that has happened for a very long period of time, and I think that the society, especially post your 92 major liberalization happened, right? After that, the society opened up a little, and we got a lot of international exposure in terms of art, in terms of design. So the society, because initially everyone was trying to get into these MNCs. Now the things have started turning more towards nurturing the local talent. Now we are looking towards something that India can do at its own level. Now we are looking at solutions that are based in India and that they emerge out of India, because first of all, these big countries are running out of money. They are not being able to support their education. We know about the problems that we are having in America and in UK, in Europe, in some of the European countries, and even in Australia, they have with education that they're not being able to fund the education. The students are not being able to fund the education. So till very recently, Indian students used to go abroad. Now a lot of colleges instead are now shifting to India, because first of all, there is more to learn from the countries in which the economy is still booming, like India, China. These are the countries where the economy is still booming, right? In the West, it's kind of now subsiding and plateauing, as in some countries actually going down. So that is the reason, in my opinion, that design has suddenly come to the forefront of kind of a profession that people want to get into. Also, that till now, I think a lot of students have already seen their younger brothers, their elder brothers and their relatives and their parents all getting into engineering, medical, and doing the standard kind of things. So now those people will face with a very different sort of a challenge at their time, and these people are faced with a different situation. Their situation is that they are seeing these people doing very boring job, right? 9 to 5 jobs. They want to do something of their own. They want to have ownership of the work that they have done. They want to do something creative. So that is one thing that people are getting into design for. However, there is one negative aspect to this entire thing, is that people are getting into design because they think that design has more scope. Now that is a very problematic word. I'll tell you about myself. I'm an architect. I became an architect. I got into architecture in 2001, and I got passed out in 2008. I was never in architecture, and my the students who were along with me in college at that point of time were not in architecture because there is scope in architecture. Placement was never an issue, so much so that I remember in my college, once there was this placement drive, and everyone got angry that we don't need placement, we can find placement for ourselves. Because if you are studying for so many years in a college, you're doing your undergraduate, you're doing your postgrad, you must have done so much market research and have established contacts with people and with already existing designers and architects that you can place yourself. Okay. So, however, that is changing now, because these are the same students who were earlier going to go into something like engineering are now coming to design. But the problem is that the same attitude cannot be followed in design. You can't come with an attitude of scope. This is a field that's closer to art. This is a field where you find solutions, and sometimes the solutions will be easy, quick, like 2 plus 2 4, and then sometimes the solution will be very complicated, like finding out E equal to MC square. Right? So design is a soft field, and because of that it has slower results, it has softer results, but it has more sustainable results. I'll say get into design if you want to have a rich life, if you want to have richness of experience, if you want to know about a lot of things. Because for example, I'm sitting in this room now, I'm an architect. I need to know how the light is going to work. I need to know how table is going to work. Now you are using a camera. I need to know how light will interfere with the camera. I need to know what kind of colors will work. I need to know about psychology. I also need to know about politics. So like in my college, what I did was, the first month when the students came, I took them to Katpatli colony directly to the slum area, so that first of all you get out of this entire thing that as a designer I'm only going to make things for Bollywood, or I'm going to make things for rich people. So you get students out of that entire mindset where it is about making a career. No, you obviously have to make a career, you have to earn your bread, but everyone is earning bread. Design is not for those people who are in the profession only to earn bread. Design is for those people who want to have those joys of life, those happinesses of life, right? It's a very rigorous career. It will take everything from you. Designers never sleep. They're always working. So I mean, someone who wants to get it will get into it only if you can enjoy sitting on a piece of paper and just drawing for a week. Sometimes having no social life because of that. So design is that kind of a field. So scope, in my opinion, is not a good attitude to look at when you talk about getting into design. Uh, I'll talk about TDV. So at TDV, what we do is that again, so there's one basic thing is to get students out of these standard modes of thinking, this way of thinking ki if we are now in a design school, this is the only stuff we are going to do. So we have a student who came here because he wanted to design cars and only cars. Now yesterday I was talking to the students less than a year. The student is himself telling me that the future does not belong to cars. Right? You make a huge car, you put it on the road, but there is no road available anymore. Right? Look at this street outside. There is no road. There is nowhere to go. There is nowhere to park. So what's the point of cars? So now he's looking at alternate things. So we at TDV engage in politics as a designer. We engage in sociology, in liberal arts, in literature, in poetry, in things that can be done by hand, things that can be done with words. So this table that we are sitting on, these chairs are made by our own students. We made them work with hand to make this. And then it is also about being interdisciplinary. Okay, so in the sense, when I as an architect only learnt about buildings, and I was taught in my college that the highest form of art is architecture. Thankfully, I joined Design Village and I learned that that's totally not true. Everything has its own, you know, field and area where that thing is excellent. Like since last 1 or 2 years, I have tried hard to get into journalism because now I realize as an architect, since everything has been constructed, there is no place left to be constructed. Now all I can do is talk about the space that is already there. So I started writing about space. And a lot of my friends are doing that now. We are talking, instead of talking about what a new building should look like, we are talking about why should buildings not be there at all? Why should buildings be there? Because there is already too much construction. The environment is going bad. Can we afford to build more? Right? So that is the arena we are pushing our students also into it. That you question everything, you learn to do things like an artist, someone who can work with hands and someone who can work with words. We make students write a lot so that they know how to express themselves. So that has been the focus of our education in this place. About design education in India, I'll tell you something very special about India is that unlike the West, we don't have abundance. In India, you have to work with very limited resources, and even if you come up with something very fancy, the minute you put it out on the road, there is traffic, there is no place to go, and no one can buy it. Now look at the malls in India. The malls in India work for like 5 years and then they're shut down. Right? So you can make the fanciest, most architecturally beautiful mall in the world, but if it's going to shut down, then you have failed as an architect of the mall, right? So similar attitude we want to bring into the designers also, that you have to stop thinking of things just as so in the West. Usually everywhere the things are taught, they're taught in a very pseudo artistic manner. I'll say, okay, like, take this huge area, make a white room, and everything should be white and everything should be neat and clean. That is just not a possibility in India. In Delhi, you can't, even if you air conditioned your building will gather dust. Look at the floor here. Because it's impossible to do the same thing in India. So there is something special about India, is that I think because of this, India has the potential to generate designers who can come up with more sustainable and realistic solutions for this century. Because the age of huge buildings and huge architects and huge designers is over now. Because those people worked in their times and they left us to this world where there is no water, electricity is less, there is lesser fossil fuels. So that space is not left. So that American method of architecture or designing is anyway over. So it's better that someone today learns in India and China or Africa, in these kind of countries, than any other place. So for example, even I mean, look at which is one of the top, some of the top, even in liberal arts, the schools which are top are like, for example, School of South Asian and African Studies, right? That's one of the top colleges, simply because this is where we need to look today. So that is why it's very important that we create some very sensitive designers who make designs which are inclusive for everyone and that are relatable for people of India. Now 92,000 rupees iPhone is not relatable for people in India. Even if it's the best thing in the world, people cannot relate to that, right? So that is one thing. On the matter of technology, I think, and this has been said too many times, that India is a land of jugaad, right? It can be looked in both positive and negative manner. Negative because what we are doing is the second best. We are achieving the second best because we can't afford the best. But I'm saying that is a good thing. In India, we first wear a piece of cloth, then we convert it into pocha. So we have saved that one piece of cloth, right? From going. So first the elder brother wears it, the younger brother wears it. Then maybe you give it to the maid, and then eventually it dies at the pocha or something you clean your bike with. So that thing, even though we in the West you would look at it as disdain, it's the culture where you want to make paper plates and just use them and throw. In India we don't do that, right? We don't want to do that. We can't afford to do that. We have to come up with solutions. So like in India now there is this guy who has come up with spoons and cups which are made of millet. Right. So first of all, they are biodegradable. Second of all, they can be eaten. So first it becomes a plate, then it becomes something else. So this kind of, in India we have a kabadi wala. That's such a unique thing, that recycling is inherent in our culture. It has always been there. The kabadi guy is essentially a recycle person, a recycle specialist. Right.
Exactly.
So these kind of things have already existing in India. In my opinion, if only someone was able to realize the political potential, not the design potential, but the political potential of this country, and convert them and inspire students through that, it will be enough. And I think I'm very lucky to be associated with an institute that's willing to do that. And it's giving that kind of scope in its syllabus to do that. On the matter of digital India, etc., I would say a lot of these government initiatives are often gimmicks. But there are people who can use these as opportunities and provide positive social benefit based or community development based solutions using these same solutions. I am skeptical of how good or bad it will be, but I think that is something that time will tell, how good or bad it will be. But will it be good for us? Will it be bad for us? It's difficult to say right now. The intentions of the current government can be looked at with complete skepticism and disdain, especially because of the way all the other schemes have turned out. Like for example, Clean India or your so that's Swachh Bharat thing and your Beti Bachao have come out to be complete hogwash because they are not what the party represents or what the government of India is representing in its true form. So I'm skeptical of them, but that does not mean that it can't be taken as an opportunity by some young people who want to bring a positive change to the society. Future plans of Design Village is something that my owner will be able to tell you more. But like I told you, at Design Village, we are trying to develop a new kind of design education where the focus is on exploring the material as well as ideal condition and context within which the design has to develop. There is a lot of focus on handwork and a lot of focus on words. And I think currently with the staff that we have and even the students, every student is very special for us now because we have nurtured them for a year now. So the team, what the team is trying to achieve right now is very special and very unique, at least in my experience. So I've taught in some other colleges, and I've studied in 2 colleges, I've taught in 3 colleges, and this is my 4th college. So in my opinion, I have never seen this kind of an attitude where someone focuses so much on the idea of design and not just the design. Most of the colleges just teach software. That is totally not the attitude that we have in this place. We don't care about software. We don't want to focus on technology. We want to focus on idea. Exactly. You can draw with a pen or with a computer. Why does that matter? The question is, what will be the result or the implication of the diagram that will be out? How will the society react to it?
Don't you think it's difficult in that way?
It's
Teaching
very
software
difficult.
is very easy for that matter, no?
Both. I agree. Yes, drawing by hand is difficult and making with software easy because software is designed to make things easy. But the point is that we have stopped looking at that. Of course, we teach working by hand and we teach working by software. That is there. But that is not the focus of design. The
Basically,
focus is
creative
the
thinking.
implication of the final design. Now, मैंने एक poster बनाया. That poster will be put up in 100 places in India, and if there is a wrong message going out through the poster, even though it's just a poster, the implication will be big.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
The
Because
seriousness of
100
the
people
design.
see that poster in a day. Every poster is seen by 100 people, and there are 100 posters. You already have 10,000 people looking at your poster and getting a wrong message about something. It's a very serious business, and our designers, current designers who have gone abroad and got this expensive education and come back, are currently doing a horrible job. I have no shame in saying that my generation and the generations previous to me are doing a horrible job at design because they have been very exclusionist in their approach.
Okay.
And I think it is now upon our generation to fix this design, and this design village, in my opinion, is one of those tools, at least currently, which is available to change that idea of what design is.
Okay.
Where you think before working on something.
Thank you.